Welcome to our webinar series. Let me just make sure my mic and everything is enabled correctly. Perfect. Welcome to our webinar series. This is designed for funded traders, but truthfully, it's for any trader. Okay. This is a concept that we've rolled out. We've been talking about it for a while now, over a year. This is essentially year two of our Prop Trade Accelerator program. And the webinar series we've been doing is called the Funded Trader Webinar Series. The idea behind it is very simple. We believe that every trader, if you are day trading, you should be a funded trader. We have a number of reasons why. We have a number of ways to help you get there. Today is going to be a deep dive into that. So if you've been a funded trader with us, if you're currently a student with us, some of this might be a little bit repetitive. Some of it will be new for you. If you've never traded with us before, this is a whole different animal of information. So we have been teaching traders. Pat's been an instructor for 16 years. He's been a professional trader for over 20. I've been in the financial services industry for 25 plus years. I'm going to get into my background in just a second. I can tell you that right here, right now, at this point in time, there is no better opportunity to maximize your revenue as a trader and minimize your risk than using the prop trading systems the way that they're set up right now. It's literally that simple. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, how it works, and how you can get involved if this is something that you want to do. So out of the gates, I started talking about Pat a little bit. Some of you in the room right now are familiar with Pat. You've been students of his in the past. There's some of you that have been students of his since the very beginning. Some of you are newer students. Pat's reputation, Pat is the AngryTrader Assalone. If you know him, he takes this very seriously. He takes his students' success very seriously. And he does get a little upset about things from time to time, which kind of keeps it interesting and keeps it fun. So Pat, the AngryTrader Assalone, you can see him on Fox News, multiple podcast shows, different programs. People talk to him all the time about what's going on in the market. And what Pat's done is he's taken a system called the market profile system, and he's modified it to be applicable in today's marketplace. So the creative name that we came up with is the modified market profile system. Pat has taught thousands of traders this system. The success stories are they're countless, guys. We have a lot of students that have traded with us for years and stay with us. Some of them learn to do this and they go off on their own and they trade on their own afterwards. It's interesting as a business to teach people to be successful and then to have them go off and get their own success. We do get a lot of students that stay with us because they like the market commentary, they like the software, they like all the packaging. And we love it both ways, guys. Our goal as an entity is to train you guys to be the best and most successful, most profitable traders that you can be. So, like I said, he's taught thousands of traders to be his system, and they've modified it, they've adapted, and they've seen a lot of tremendous success from it. So, this is me. I'm 25 years in the financial industry. I'm a former investment banker. I'm founder, owner, and operator of multiple trading, education, and software companies. Guys, I eat my own meatballs. The stuff that we come up with, the stuff that we make, the systems that we design, I operate them. I run them. I use them myself. I am a prop trader myself. So everything we're talking about here today are things that I've experienced and worked with firsthand. I can tell you that I was not a fan of prop trading in the beginning. This is something that it took me a while to come around and really see the value of it. And then as the systems have changed and become better, we've become more and more endorsers of it. I do have the quote there. I'm not only the president, I'm also a client. That's the old Hair Club for Men commercial. No, I don't have a part of Hair Club for Men, but I do believe in what we do. So I'm a client as much as any student that's out there. I use Pat's method religiously to trade. I have yet to find anything that has the level of success and consistency that Pat's system does. So. Real quick disclaimer, guys, this is on all our websites. It's on all our programs. Look, it's very simple. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. We're not financial advisors. This is for education purposes only. If you're looking for high-level financial advice, investment advice, speak to a financial advisor, guys. This is about trading. This is about teaching people to trade, to be able to use a system and trade for themselves. and not rely on other people. That's really what this system is designed to do. So we are an education company first and foremost. Second, we're a software company. We are not financial advisors. If you want financial advice, speak to a financial advisor. So this is a really interesting concept. And I'm big into looking at what our competitors are doing and how they're doing it and where they're finding success and what's working and what's not. Prop firm or funded trader experts. The interesting thing is you're not finding anyone in the marketplace that is that. I believe that we are as close to that as you can be. My rationale for making that statement is this. We've been in the game since the very beginning. Okay. Literally We've literally seen this program, prop trading, start when the firms first started 10, 12 years ago. We saw the concept roll out. It is a newer concept to trading. This isn't something that's been around for 50 years. The funded trader concept is very new. We saw the evolution of it. We watched it transform from something that was designed to kind of, for lack of a better term, Pat, tell me what your thoughts are. I mean, to screw the prop trader. It was really designed to screw the trader into paying more fees and involve into a legitimate funded trader program. Did you say that's a fair statement?
In the beginning of this whole funded trader fiasco, and I believe me, was I know it intimately because I know a company that had asked to use my trading method, but they made the rules so draconian that there was no way anybody was ever going to get funded. And my question to them was, well, do you actually want to help people or do you want to help yourselves? Because if you're going to help yourselves only, I'm not giving you my method. And with the rules that you have now, no one is going to be funded. That was the dirty little secret. They never had any intention of funding anybody. They wanted people to fail. And when they figured out that most people were going to succeed using my method, they had to handcuff it by putting ridiculous parameters on it. So back then, I would say I would never have trusted any prop firm. Today, something changed, and they are realizing that if we unleash people and allow them to trade methods that have real risk management and money management that define the method, we're better off taking our 10 or 20% and letting those people get paid out because they're going to make more money off of that than they ever will, because those types of people are not going to have to re-up and refund accounts because they're not going to go broke.
Right, right. And I think the real rationale for that, and this is the big thing to alert people to, when you're trading futures, you're trading with a brokerage. Most of you are trading with an introducing broker. They're highly regulated. FINRA regulates them. They have to be Series 3, Series 24, Series whatever, whatever, whatever. Prop trading firms don't have to be regulated. And the result of not having to be regulated is that they were kind of all over the place. Now, because it's been collectively sort of unified, you're seeing that the companies that do things the right way, that actually give the traders a chance, they're floating to the surface. The others are going under very, very quickly. And the result is you're seeing a real industry here. I personally believe now more than ever, there's more opportunity right now, more than there ever has been in the past, to be able to take advantage of that as a disciplined trader. Um, the others, and as I said before, guys, we've been at this since the very, very beginning. We've seen this evolution happen. I don't know where it's going to go from here. And my encouragement to you guys is take advantage of it. Take advantage of it while it is where it is right now. And when we say, I use this term expert. Um, there's nobody that I know of. There's nobody that I've found that's been at this as long as we have. Not in the prop trader realm, not developing systems that operate within the rules, for the rules, developing software to beat prop trading firms. Because, like Pat said, a lot of the older prop trading firms didn't want you to beat their system. because they were making money when you paid for those renewals. They were making money when you paid to get reevaluated. That's how they were funding their programs. The newer companies have realized, hey, listen, if I can have a couple of thousand people each trading $150,000 accounts, trading differently, I'm not going to move the market and I can still be profitable. It's a great way to build a hedge fund. And that's what a lot of the newer companies are doing, because they've realized that if the good traders don't have to be Wall Street guys, they don't have to be Wharton School of Business grads. The best traders are people that have developed a system that they can be disciplined and execute on a day in and day out basis. And they're taking advantage of that. And that's what we're seeing in the industry right now. So we do hold ourselves out as experts, guys. But my point is don't take our word for it. Look at and speak to our students and see what their success stories have been. See what they've been able to accomplish. I'm going to grab 3 of our students right now that are all 3 of them are successful prop traders. They're trading other people's money. They're in the money. Pat, I'm going to have you kind of walk through each one of the students and do that. You have a personal relationship with each one of them. But guys, these aren't, just so we're clear, these aren't the only students that we have that are successful with prop trading. We have literally dozens, nearly 100 plus students that are successfully prop trading right now, and we only rolled this program out a year ago. So when we say that we have a lot of successful students in it, it's not 1 or 2, it's multiple. Okay, we understand with our students too. Before I call these couple of students up, we have a lot of retail trading students. We have thousands of successful students. Okay, retail traders are individuals that are trading for themselves, trading their own accounts. So I'm just talking about our prop trader students when I say we've got closer to 100. But those retail traders we have thousands. Okay, these are people that have learned to trade, they've been taught to trade, and they trade their own accounts. We also have a lot of CTA and CPO students. Okay, those are commodity trading advisors and commodity pool operators. Okay, that's the tricky word for they are trading futures hedge funds, guys. Okay, we have students that are CTA and CPOs. Okay, meaning Pat's system is good enough that they're using it on a commercial level and they're trading literally managed accounts for people, licensed and managed accounts. We also have commercial and hedge fund traders. There's a number of former Goldman Sachs traders. I would say that there's a couple of Lehman Brothers traders in there, but that's kind of a joke nowadays. If you live through the Lehman Brothers days, sorry guys, but there's a couple of Lehman guys, and there's a number of current hedge fund traders as well. So just to be clear, there's big firm guys that have come back to us and said, "Wow, your method works on scale. We're using it here. We want to continue to learn it and to execute with it." So I don't want you to think this is all about prop trading, and that's what I kind of said in the beginning. But what we're talking about today is the success of our prop trader students. So those students, there's more than a few of them. Pat, I'm going to have you introduce them and walk you through. Dakota, if you could turn your mic on and jump in with us. Pat, do you have to turn his mic on? Are you familiar with how to do that?
I'm going to turn his mic on this side. Before we get into Dakota, I want everybody to understand something too. I'm not just some buffoon, even though most people think I am sometimes. I was Series 7 licensed, Series 66 licensed financial advisor. I was 1 out of 8 people at Wachovia Securities who was licensed to sell collateralized debt paper. I am Series 3, Series 34. I have a CTA. I own these things. I know what risk is. Just so everybody knows, okay? I'm not some guy on freaking YouTube telling you to go long and short, showing you the one account that may have won a trade that day, okay? So I've got some experience in this business and I've trained these people to do it. So Dakota, what I would like you to do is tell people your background, your experience, how long ago you earned the right to go live, and then how you've done since you've been live. You don't have to get to specific numbers, just roundabout, if you will. Now, guys, when I turn somebody's mic on, it usually takes about 5 seconds for that mic to hit. So Dakota, if you can, speak into the mic, see if it's working.
All right, Patrick, can you hear me okay?
Perfect. Can everybody else hear him? Perfect. So Dakota, give us the bullet point answers to the questions that I had asked, please.
Absolutely. So I come from a self-employed background, more in the cattle, chickens, agriculture industries. So my really only experience in trading was hedging cattle. Um, but trading futures is something I always wanted to do. Never looked at a chart, never knew anything about trading. And in 2016, listening to Fox News, I heard about your program. Got into the program and probably didn't take it as seriously as I should at the time. And I was in the middle of opening a new business, and it kind of just fell by the wayside. And fast forwarding to May of last year, I'd been thinking about Patrick a lot. Always loved his method, loved being in his classroom, and started just trying to research Patrick, and ended up finding him again. And when I jumped in, kind of the same thing. A lot of things had changed. Got in, I was able to, pick up right where I left off pretty quickly. But still, the same problem. I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, and had a lot of things going on in my life that, I treated it more like a hobby, if I could say it that way. And I tried, with Bubba's method, I don't want to get in it confusing, but I tried doing too many things at once. And I just kept breaking even, going back and forth, trying to get through money management. And finally, I just, this is ridiculous. I've had enough. I dropped everything and said from 7 a.m. Central Standard Time to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'm doing nothing but Patrick's method. I'm going to every class. I'm going to build the right spreadsheets and start tracking my trades the way that I should. And from the moment that I did that, I breezed through the rest of money management, and I got with Patrick about being funded. And he said, absolutely, this is something you need to do. Well, looking at getting funded, I wanted to do the $150,000 account. That seemed like something, that seemed the most advantageous based on the pricing structure. And so that's what I jumped off. I was like, my gosh, $9,000 is going to be, take me forever to get that. I hit $9,000 in 6 weeks, just trading the way that I trade, my schedule. And I have now hit that as I have that master account now, and I am working on 4 other eval accounts, all $150,000 accounts, working on getting those funded. And Patrick, stop me at any point in time if I went overboard on the points. If you need to ask more questions.
Nope, you're good. I just want
Okay.
everybody to understand something. Everybody starts from zero. Everyone, you're going to hear from a couple of different people who have nothing in common, who started from the same place, earned their way. Now you hear him talk about money management. This is because we start everybody out on sim, and I don't care what anybody in this business says. If you cannot do it on a simulator, you're not going to do it live. That's just a fact, and I'm not going to have people waste their money until they know what they are doing. So Dakota, thank you very much. Tiffany, if you are ready, I'm going to turn your mic on next.
Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly. Can everyone hear Tiffany in the room?
Great. How much time do I have?
Couple minutes. So
Okay, so I'm going to try to speak through this. So I came upon target trading peripherally through Doug Rothstein. I happen to be married to him, and they have a decade-long relationship. So my background is management consultant, technology with a focus on finance. And last year, I'm on a bit of a sabbatical. So last year, I decided, with Doug's encouragement, to dip my toes in trading. And it was around August, first week in August. And I started with the ramp up room with Randall in the evenings on Mondays and Tuesdays. I managed to complete 19 trades. So within 2 months, I was promoted to the first 100. And I was very quickly promoted into money management after 21 trades and 20 days, which was very cool, by Patrick. After having done that, and having continuing to attend the ramp up room with Randall on Mondays and Tuesdays, like Dakota, I started to track my trades, my trade statistics and spreadsheets to kind of give me a sense of what my trading style was. And all along, I got promoted to money management for a very short period of time. It was for 2 weeks, 9 trades. I had a bit of a conflict with elder care, and it was taking my focus away from trading. And so I decided that I wanted to kind of shift and take a step back. With the encouragement of Randall and Patrick, they suggested that perhaps I just take a step back, but not take my foot completely out. And so I just did reversals and inverses, the bread and butter of trading. And what it allowed me to do was not take my foot off the pedal. It allowed me to work out some of the bad habits I thought I saw forming. And it was a really good way to get really good at these 2 key trading concepts. And so after 2 months in reversals and inverses, I got promoted back to money management. And that was in January of this year. And I completed 65 trades in 2 months, and then was given the encouragement to consider going live. So after 7 months and 214 unique trades, I went for it. And initially, when I decided to consider trading, I thought I'd be trading my own money. And what I quickly realized is that if I was doing that, I was assuming most of the risk, if not all of it. And so by trading with the prop firms that I am trading with, which there are 2, they assume the risk. And what's really cool, and so I would consider this a major advantage. So I have no skin in the game other than my initiation fee for the evaluation. And then when I've completed and passed my evaluation, there is a one-time fee for the master account, or a performance account, depending on what firm you're with. And then, you apply the rules of the modified market profile system. And that's what's really interesting. They actually map almost perfectly to the 2 firms that I trade with in terms of their rules. So your risk is almost minimal if you're trading the method correctly. Now, if I think about the disadvantages of trading with a prop firm, there really aren't any, because the rules that are in play are there to protect you. So things like consistency rules was something that I had to kind of understand, because, being new to trading, I didn't quite understand some of the nuances of the rules. So I figured this out. So the consistency rules, the trailing drawdowns was another rule that was something that you have to be mindful of. But again, the proprietary method protects you from the floor of the trailing drawdown from ever hitting its maximum. So, and that would knock you out. So for me, I currently trade with 2 prop firms. I have 5 funded accounts, and I do have a broker, and I do use a trade assist, the executioner. I don't take all trades, but I always will mostly take the first time trade. So this is a bit of my trading style. And I usually trade 1 to 2 contracts in the minis and 4 to 5 contracts in the micros, depending on what's going on for the day. But my objective right now is to continue to evaluate accounts so that I can scale, so that I can replicate those trades across my accounts. So with the 5, my target for the fall is to have 5 additional funded accounts, and then by year end, another 10. And that is just the max that I'm allowed to have with a particular firm. So with that, I have to say that the prop firms do protect themselves from a business model perspective. And yes, they've evolved over time. But really, the rules, if you think about it, are there to protect you from losing your shirt. So I really have to say that, there isn't really much more to say, except that I'm really enjoying this journey that I'm on, and potentially a career pivot for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tiffany. And what she means by the additional accounts, Stephen may be running a moment late. I don't know if he's in the room. We may go to Randall first. What she means by that is she's got a master account that she's qualified to make profit on. Well, there are certain rules at play. Some prop firms will only allow you to make X amount in a day, and then they shut you off. So let's just say that number is 1,500, and if you make 4,000, you're only going to get paid out on 1,500. Okay, that's all that's going to happen. So you open up what? Additional accounts. You mirror them to your master account, and you're taking additional trades in separate accounts. That's a way to get around it. These are their rules, guys. We teach you how to use their rules, beat them at their game, so they're thrilled to death that you're beating them at their game, and they're actually making money off of you. Just keep that in mind. Randall, if you will, I'm going to turn your mic on. Let's say, well, it all depends, David Luker, how each prop firm is set up. It will slave to that account. It will connect to that account. The back office technology is all different, but you will place, let's say, a trade on one account, and you will be executed on the other accounts as long as there's liquidity in that particular instrument. Does that make sense?
So yeah, let me build on that too, Pat. So the answer is to David, yes. You can use a trade copier. We don't recommend using it out of the gates until you've reached a level that you are successful in the first account. Otherwise, you're just wasting money on multiple accounts, taking the same trades, the same wins, same losses in all the accounts. But once you're able to achieve it in one, yes, absolutely a trade copier. Most of the firms will allow you up to 5 accounts, and once you've achieved that, you can do it at multiple firms and copy over there. We use Trader's Post, which is allows the NinjaTrader copier to be in place. So yes, absolutely, it's very, very, very hard to trade multiple accounts if you're not using a trade copier. It's very, very difficult to do that. Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
No, that's just fine. I believe Stephen is running a little.
And then Pat, did you want to turn on? Randall?
Yep, I'm going to turn Randall's mic on. Randall, he's got a.
I lost you.
A crazy story, but here he is.
All right, I'm going to keep moving forward. Can everybody still hear me? Okay. All right, perfect. I don't see Stephen Bryan in the room right now. He might be a little late coming in, so we'll grab him later. Stephen's another massive success story. Actually, he's doing this. 20 pounds per household. There you go, Tiffany. Stephen is a massive success. He actually got to the point he left his regular job. This is what he does, and he's. Is that you, Pat?
No, that's Randall.
Okay, here you go. Okay. He's become a massive success with this. At the end of the day, the most important thing is everybody's going to have their own system. If Stephen pops in, we'll have him walk through. So let's get into the meat and potato of this. Randall, can you speak? Let me see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to tell your story?
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone.
By the way, hold on. Before you talk, Randall, let's just introduce you properly. Okay. So, And guys, just so you know, a lot of us here, we've been together for a while. We have personal relationships. Randall's one of my favorite people in the world. So if it seems like I'm treating him very nicely or differently, it's because, and I'll just give you a little perspective. Randall takes my son to church. So my son is up at school at Florida State, and Randall's up in Tallahassee, and he and my son attend church together. They spend time together. Randall is one of the best human beings on this planet. And one of the things Randall did, Randall was a student of Pat's who has a tremendous amount of patience and a very deep understanding of Pat's methodology. And what Randall's been able to do is he was able to start teaching students that about 5 years ago. And then that evolved into an entire program called Randall's Ramp Up, which is still a part of our system. Randall taught multiple students. I mean, many of you in this room right now have been students of Randall's. The entry, the very beginning of their trading career, they started with Randall before they got to Pat. And I don't know a single person that'll say a bad thing about you, Randall. But just so everybody
they're
knows,
out there.
this past year, Randall retired from us. He still does pop in. He still does trade a lot. And Randall's actually, you yourself have gotten into this prop trading. And you want to tell a little bit about your story?
Sure. So, Michael, thank you. Patrick, thank you. I want to say thank you for the opportunity. What was it? 5-6 years ago now. To be a part of target trading, it's really, guys, I'm telling you, from the get-go, I had searched forever to try to find a method that worked. I've too heard a radio ad and responded to that ad, and that was back in 2010, 2011. And I started learning Patrick's method. And I was kind of hard-headed when I first started this. I thought I could, just hop in there and learn something real quick and be a success real quick. Well, I've quickly learned that no, you got to follow the method. There is a method to this madness, and if you follow that method, you're going to be profitable. You're not going to be profitable on every single trade that you take, but you're going to be profitable if you are persistent and consistent with your method that Patrick teaches. Fortunately, I got involved in it. And as Michael had indicated, I've taught a lot of people that are in this room. And I'm telling you, folks, this stuff really works. I spent thousands of dollars trying to find something that works. Now, you've got to follow the plan. You can't just throw stuff up on the wall and expect it to stick, because it won't. You've got to follow a method. And that's why I became very, very good at identifying these HVA edges and taking the reversals. And fortunately, I was able to teach people Patrick's method. Moving fast forward now. Prop accounts. I was also associated with a firm that Patrick had mentioned earlier that their whole goal was for you to fail with your prop account. And now these new prop companies have come out. They actually do want you to make money. Why? Because they participate in that making of the money, not just on you blowing your account and then having other situations, having that blow account and just buy again. They want you to be a profitable trader. And so I have now worked to where I've got 5 accounts, prop accounts, and I am copy trading as well. So you're right, Michael and Patrick. This copy trading is really the way to go. Now, I'm still new at it. The copy trading, it's not worked as well as I had wanted it to because of my inability to learn the software. So I've got a little bit of a challenge from that aspect of it, but it's really not that difficult to do. But I'm trading 1 account or 2 accounts right now, trying to get that copy account to start working better. But when I
And
do,
you know what I love? You know what I
mhm.
love that you just explained, Randall, is it's not bulletproof. And I think that's really important. You're a phenomenal trader. You're a very successful trader. So you're now transitioning your ability to trade into trading prop accounts. You have your own money. You don't need to trade prop accounts, but you're choosing to trade them, which I think is a great explanation. And the idea that you're working out things with the copy trader, things like that, in my
Yeah,
opinion, that's the value add. That's kind of what Target will bring to the table for people if they're interested in this. Is we've kind of beat our head against the wall and made mistakes and figured out that okay, there's different systems that work better than others. This is how you want to copy trade. This is how you want to do these things. And I think that's really where the big value add is. So
absolutely, absolutely. And I have 3 different prop companies. We've got Apex, Legends, and Tradeify, and I'm trying to figure out which one I like better. Quite frankly,
I'm a Tradeify fan, but we'll talk more about that later.
indeed, indeed. So
Randall, you
far,
are awesome, man.
that's the one I like best so far. Tradeify.
Just so everyone
Um,
knows, Randall took one trade this morning in gold, made $825, and he quit for the day.
yep.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
want to do that?
Yep. Exactly.
You have to
Well,
wait
Randall,
for
you're
them,
awesome,
folks.
man. Yep. You are awesome, man. Thank you very much for your time, guys. I'm going to start speeding this along so we can punch through. So we talk about this and we say it's a newer concept to trading, and it's funny. Just today, just this morning in MoneyWise News, this I saw this, and it was a Nashville man. He's 22, making $30,000 to $90,000 a month day trading, and I went, oh wow, that's interesting. All right, we're in this business. We teach people to trade. I'm curious to see what he's doing. And I dove into the article and I started reading a little bit more about it. And what caught my attention was he uses a prop firm. That's how he's trading, guys. I read this and I said, that's the first time in major news that I've seen somebody talking about using a prop firm. And what's interesting is he talks about it. He said, he was asked by the interviewer, if you're so good at this, why not use your own money? And he said he's good at trading, but he didn't always have the large sums required to make it worthwhile. Well, guess what? I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of people in that vein. Okay, there's a lot of people that are like that. How much do you need in an account to make it worthwhile? Okay, each of us are a little bit different. There's not a whole lot of people out there though that have $150,000 that they want to throw into a trading account and they're willing to put at risk every single day to trade. Okay. A lot of our students start off trading micros and they're trading on $5,000 accounts, $10,000 accounts. Well, you got to do a lot of trading to make that account profitable enough to make it worthwhile. Okay. But what Zach here was saying in the interview was he didn't necessarily have that. He can build up to that, but why not just use the prop firm's money? Okay, so it's really interesting. I saw that today, and it's funny because it's the first time I've seen that in the news as coming up, and I thought it was really interesting when the headline was he's a day trader, but then when you read further into it, he's prop trading. So that's a lot of information on the front end, guys. I want to get into the meat and potatoes, the reason you guys came today, and I want to move this along. So
Mike,
let's talk
if
about
I may,
yes.
for a moment, I'm not going to mention the client's name, but he's liquid net 8 figures. Easy. He does not need to use prop accounts. He uses prop accounts because it's a smart business move. Why use your own money when you can use someone else's when you know you can affect the goal? Why do it? There's no reason. Last week,
Right.
he put up quite possibly, that I remember, the largest trade of any student we've ever had because he had a master account with 6 prop accounts linked to it. And they were all in the range of $3,000 to $4,000 winners on each trade.
Right.
Why is he going to use his own money when someone else, he can lay the risk off on someone else? Just think about that. And that was gold, which, by the way, is a liquid enough market where you can get filled on most things. Of course, the ES, the micro NASDAQ are much, much more liquid where you don't have to really worry about anything. But you really want to use liquid markets. Just thought I would say that. Thank you very much.
So real quick, guys. So 2 reasons to talk about. Okay, here you go. application, evaluation, funded, staying funded, getting paid. Okay, this is the process of working at a funded firm. Okay, Terrence, I'm actually going to talk about that comment. So hold that thought. I agree with you, but I want you to understand how this works. I absolutely agree with your thought. This is about the whys, and there's also some why nots here too. So we're going to get to that. That's a great point, Terrence. All right, so just so we're all talking the same process, I want you guys to understand, so we're all on the same page. I'm going to give you a quick background. I'm going to move quickly through this. If you don't follow it, it's okay. Go back and watch the recording. Okay, this is a quick background just to get everybody on the same page. All right. So the process of getting funded is straightforward. You have the application. You have to pass an evaluation. Okay. After the evaluation, you get funded. Then you have to stay funded. Okay. That means you have to stay within their guidelines, and then you have to achieve enough profit in order to get paid. So there is a process to this. It's not just, hey, I took a trade, now it's time to get paid. Understand, this isn't as simple as trading your own account. There is a process to it to make them take the risk. Okay. What you get is you get a funded or prop account. That is an account that you can trade as long as you stay within those specific parameters. You have to trade their parameters. Okay. You get paid out of the profits generated from that account. You don't get paid the entire amount. Okay, there are profit splits. Some firms it's 50-50. Some firms, it's as much as a 90% payout. Okay, more and more, the prop firms are paying larger amounts. Okay, big difference with how you do that, and that's why it's really important that you pick the right firms. And we can talk to you guys more about that. The most important thing, though, is that you stay within the rules. That keeps you getting paid. What happens if you don't stay within the rules is you have to go back to the earlier steps, okay? You either have to pay to re-up your account, or you have to go through the evaluation process from the beginning, pass it again, get funded, and start the whole process over, okay? Most people are able to pass the eval between 30 and 45 days if they're going to pass it. When people take longer than that, the likelihood of them passing goes down. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit more about what it means to pass them. What's the downside? Okay, there are downsides. Okay, Terrence pointed some things out with taxes. I'm not an accountant. I don't want to get into that, but there are some, you do have to deal with the taxes on it. You don't really have $150,000. Okay, I want to be clear. You don't have $150,000. You don't have 150 grand in an account that you can turn around and wire to yourself. You're trading. Most of the time, in a lot of these places, you're trading a SIM account until you're funded. Even in that SIM account, if you make profits, they'll pay you out based on those profits, but you're still subject to the rules of the road. Okay. But in my opinion, the biggest downside is what Terrence pointed out, which is you have, in some cases, a $5,000 drawdown, or a $7,500 drawdown, or a trailing loss, or whatever. Those, when we talk about the parameters, those are the rules we're talking about. Okay. Those rules are what gets you knocked out of the system. If you stay within the rules, you get to stay in the system and keep working towards hitting your profit targets. If you get bounced out, you have to go back and restart your eval. What a lot of people do, particularly those that are uneducated, is they do eval after eval. They might get funded, and then they look for these home run trades, and then they don't understand, okay, they hit the home run trade, but they didn't have enough consistency, so they get back to doing another eval. And they look at it like they're playing video poker at the casino, okay, or the slot machines. All right, this is not that. Okay, this is not that, and I want to be very, very, very clear. There is parameters that you have to stay within. There are rules you have to play by. You come to the game with a program, with a system, and you'll do well. If you're coming just to trade, I don't recommend doing it. You're just going to end up paying eval after eval. Okay. There are companies that were not doing payouts correctly. They don't last for very long. Okay, I'll tell you guys that right now. There were companies that were doing that. It's interesting, David, that you asked that question. There have been a number of companies that have come up. They're open for a year or two, and then they get to where they can't handle the payouts to match with the revenue that the traders are making, and they go out of business. Okay, there are some longer term, large scale companies. There's Apex, Top Step. We like Legends. We like Legends for a number of different reasons, but we like to work with Legends. I love Tradeify. My favorite right now, I can be honest with you guys, is Tradeify because they have a straight to funded account. It's a one-time pay. You only pay to re-up. If you bounce on it, you don't have to go back to an eval. Okay, so different companies have different rules. Different companies have different setups. Make sure, and this is one of the value adds that we bring to the table is we help you guys find prop firms that match your style, that match your method, that match what you're looking to accomplish with this. Okay, so it's very important that you're not working with companies where you get midway through a payout and suddenly they stop paying you and you find out 2 weeks later they filed for Chapter 11. Okay, so very, very important. I can tell you the checks on Tradeify. You initiate that ACH, that money's in your bank account the next day. Some of them have caps on how much they pay. Most of them have caps on how much they pay. So they might owe you $9,000, and you take that in 3 payments of $3,000. Okay, so they do have structures and systems to how you're paid on it. Honestly, the hardest thing, in my opinion, is staying consistent and active. Consistent has a different meaning when you're talking about prop trading, which I'll get into in just a minute. It has a very different meaning. Okay, consistent means that you're not getting one home run and then losing on the next 4 trades. Great, if you're trading a live account and you go up $5,600 and then you lose $4,000 on your next 10 trades, okay, you still are up $1,600, right? But in a prop account, you'll fail out of the account because you're not being consistent. Consistency in a prop account means you have a decent win rate, right? Normally, it's above a 50% win rate, and that you have a profit factor, that your trailing loss doesn't drop below a certain level, that your total loss doesn't drop below a certain level, that your consistency is there, meaning that your total profits out of the total profits that you made, that it's not more, some it's 20 or 30%. So one trade isn't 20 or 30% of the total profits that you have. So it's a different kind of trade. It's a different kind of trader to be able to do this well. Okay. We talked about why. We've kind of beaten this. I think we've beaten this a little bit. You guys understand what we're saying. Why are you going to be a prop trader? Okay. It's very simple, guys. It doesn't matter your net worth, your investment size. You're trading other people's money. It costs you $350 to open up to take an eval, $500, $150. You catch some of these specials, you can get in for $50 to take your eval. Okay, you take your eval, you're paying your monthly fee, you're in it $150, $200, $350. Tradeify, it's a one-time $750. Okay, it's not breaking the bank to get in, but now you've got access to $150,000, $50,000, $100,000, multiple accounts with those amounts, and you're able to trade it. It's leverage, guys. If you lose, if you go bust, you blow the account, guess what? Your account isn't down $50,000. Your account is not down $75,000. You might have to pay the $350 to get back in the game, but you're paying $350 to get back in the game, not losing $50,000. Okay, cannot stress that enough. To me, it's dumb math. Okay, we can go through this whole breakdown. I don't think we need to. It's pretty simple, Pat. Just to move for the sake of moving it along. We can go through this another time. Do you want to break it down a little bit, Pat? Just a quick walkthrough on it, and then we'll move forward.
Well, essentially, when you trade your own money, you can only trade limited instruments. You got a daily max risk of $1,000. Generally, limited upside can take 1 to 2 days for most trades. Worst case scenario, you lose 3 days in a row, $3,000. Your upside risk, 5 points. You got to have a trade that's 1-to-1. You can make 200 for a trade. Maybe the next trade, you make half of that, 300. It's not terrible. It's not perfect math, but at a 70% win rate, you're up a couple $100, roughly $1,400. With 3 max losers at 1,000, you're up 1,100 every 2 weeks. Not bad. We can show you what our students do. I am right now, my students year to date are up a 70, I believe 76.30 winning percentage. And
Right.
let me bring you in on this and what that means. I'm the only guy in this business that is publishing signal entries the day before it happens. That's our edge. That's the system. That's the method. All you have to do is wait. You're not flying blind on a rocket cycle, the old Flash Gordon terminology of having absolutely no idea where you're going and what you're doing, which is what the vast majority of traders do when they try to get funded by a prop account. They're hoping you lose. This method keeps you from that because you have a certain set of parameters to trade against. And once you've hit said parameters, you're done for the day, even on the upside, guys. Even on the upside. Why would you risk your own money when you can get a potential consistent 80 to 90% payout?
Right. And your max, you can take those $650 full risk trades and still not be bust with this. So, yes, Michael, yes, there are a number of them, and I can get you that information. You're asking about if they allow options. Yes, there are a few firms that do, and like I said, based on how you trade, there's different trading firms that can do it. So we've kind of talked this through a few times, but the concept of this is really simple. You're able to risk other people's money. You're able to do it. You're able to do it without using your own capital if there are losses. For example, if you lose 3 days in a row, your own money, and we talked about those specific trades, you're down at least $3,000. Sample of an upside, if you're risking 5 points and you're up, you're winning 300 to 400. Guess what? Your worst case, if you lose 3 days in a row of a funded account, you're down $100 to $500 for your re-up. All right, you can take more risk. You take $650 full risk one-to-one trades and still not go bust. And guess what? Your payout, if you win 3 times, you're even the same amount. You're up $900 to $1,200. Okay. Now, yes, you have to take the 90% payout on that. I understand that you have to take the payout. It's not 100%. But guess what? Prop firms are 70, 80, 90% right now. There are still some that are 50-50, but most of them are up north of 80% right now. So you're looking at an $800 to $1,000 for the day on those same trades. I don't even know how that's comparable. And unfortunately, guys, I got to tell you, I hate the word dumb. Okay. I don't use dumb a lot. I try to get my kids not to use the word dumb, but guys, it's dumb math. All right. This is dumb math. All right. You're talking about less risk, greater upside. Why would you not do that? It's that simple. All right. Let's talk about how. We've beat why. I think everybody understands the why. Let's talk about how. This is the meat and potatoes. All right. So thank you, by the way, Tiffany. There's great information. So how every trader should be a funded trader. The how question is where a lot of people, they fall off. Okay. They're looking for the method. Like Randall said, they can't find something that works. The most important step is you have to understand the parameters of where you're trading. Okay. Every prop firm is different. There are unique limits at every prop firm. So for example, you have your daily loss limit. You have your max trailing loss. You have what's called a consistency test. Remember I said consistent means something different in prop trading. Consistency is what percentage of your profits come from any individual trade. Most firms don't allow, if you have a $9,000 profit target, no more than some it's 30%, some it's 20% of any individual trade can contribute to that. Okay. Otherwise, it only counts as the max contribution. All right. So, max position size. By the way, little secret, there are max positions that are given to you on these prop accounts that you should not be taking. Okay. I think some of them, and we'll see it in a minute, some of the firms like Legends, you could trade 15 contracts. Look, if you're trading 15 contracts and your max daily loss limit is $5,000, you're going to blow that account out. Okay. Just because you can take a max position doesn't mean you should take the max position. You also have profit goals. Okay, so the profit goals are profit targets. You'll hear that. You have to hit a certain level before you're allowed to initiate a payout. And a lot of them, guys, have hidden requirements. Okay, this is the stuff that you don't see on in the big bold print. One of the reasons I really like Tradeify is because they have a dashboard that has like a red light, green light for each one of these. If you're not hitting your minimum weekly amount traded or minimum trades you're supposed to take for the week, it's in red, telling you have to take more trades. Times that you're allowed to trade, guys. This is super, super, super important. Okay, a lot of people trade in the overnights. Okay, you've got to make sure you're at a prop firm that allows you to do that. Otherwise, it doesn't count towards your prop trading. Okay, just because the account is open doesn't mean it's counting. All right, so make sure that you're checking your times that you're allowed to trade. The biggest thing you can do once you understand those parameters is you can set your trading system to those parameters. And this, when you talk about value add, this is the major value add that Pat brings to the table. So when I was just talking about the different account sizes, the different componentry on it, I'll zero in on this $150,000 account. So that's $320 a month to stay engaged. It's a $9,000 profit goal. Okay, $4,000 EOD is end of day trailing max loss. You better understand what that parameter means. Okay, 7 days is the minimum number of days you can trade to hit the parameters. Okay, so you have to trade a minimum number of 7 days, and a max contract size per trade of 17 contracts and 85 micros. So Pat, just mathematically talking, 17 contracts on the minis with an EOD of 4,000. How quick are we blowing that out at that size? I mean, that's absurd.
If you even get filled.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you,
it's
and Stephen Bryan is here now, but I told him we're pretty much at the end, so I'd rather have Stephen be presented by himself so he could tell his story because it's so phenomenal. But Stephen, when he first went live, he put like an 18 contract trade on the NASDAQ, and I think he got filled in 4 contracts. And he's calling me up frantically, well, what happened? I said, there's no participation. You're not going to get filled on 18 contracts.
Yeah, it's crazy how it plays out. So, and I think that's an important thing to understand. And by the way, I'm just showing you a different account. This is Tradeify. I personally like Tradeify the best because it matches my trading style the best. And I want to show you guys just a side-by-side comparison. When you see the contracts and stuff, it's not always transparent what the other parameters are. So it's really important that you speak with somebody that's experienced with them to let you know what the underlying, those hidden parameters that I was talking about earlier look like, because that can make or break you. Okay. So Tradeify, this is their one of my favorite versions of their account. This is called straight to sim funded, meaning that you go right to a funded account. There's no eval. You can get bounced out, but you're straight to sim funded. Now this has a little bit more clarity. Max contracts, 15 minis or 150 micros. Daily loss limit of $3,750. Trailing max drawdown, $6,000. So that's a very important factor, especially when you go day to day and you've taken your couple of swings at bat. Drawdown mode, end of day. Again, another parameter you have to understand. A lot of the stuff, the explanation is not here of what it is. It just says, say, consistency, 20%. What does that mean? You better know how that affects your payouts, meaning that no individual trade can be of your profit target can be more than 20%. Minimum trading days, 10 days to pay out. Max number of accounts, 5. So that's a one-time fee, $729. There's no consistent fee. If you bomb out, you buy back in. Okay. So awesome version of it. I actually use these myself. Yes, Tiffany, very good point. Some of the companies you can pick up the phone and talk to people. Legends, you can talk to people. Tech issues, they can help you. Tradeify, love my Tradeify, guys. Absolutely love my Tradeify. I really, Steven, you just posted the Tradeify link. Yeah, absolutely love my Tradeify. Some of the companies, if you're a reader, you're going to see a lot of information online. For example, Apex, a ton of their information is online. But again, you have to understand these parameters and how they affect you. Understanding your program and in detail, it's not just about understanding the trading parameters. You have to understand your payout timeframes and the payout schedule. You can go up and they can owe you $13,000, $20,000. This is big, guys. Great. So they owe you, they can pay you $13,000. They're not going to write you a check for $13,000 though. What they're going to do is they're going to set up a plan with you. A lot of times it's, your max pay might be $2,900 or $3,000. And then 2 weeks later, you initiate another payout. Okay. You can have multiple accounts, you can have multiple systems, but you have to understand the payout timeframes and the schedule for each one of the companies, because you got to go into it. You got to go into it with a target. You have to go into it knowing what to expect. Great point, by the way, Tiffany and Steven both. Got to understand your support, whether you're a reader or you're expecting something from someone to be able to respond to you. Somebody asked, do I like Legends? I like Legends because I can get a hold of somebody at Legends. I can talk to someone on the phone at Legends. I can get email responses there. I have found that I can get emailed responses from Apex, but I've never gotten someone on the phone from there. So just as a for example, despite the size of the company. A big question I always ask when I look at these firms is, who are they backed by? Some of the bigger firms, this isn't a problem, right? So Apex, Top Step, the big guys, they're their own entities. You don't have to worry about them. But for the smaller firms, and a lot of these smaller firms are trying to get a market segment, you have to look into who they're backed by to find out if this is a way to, how do I say this? You have to find out if they're going to be at risk if they don't pay you out. And I'll give you an example with Legends. Legends is owned by a company, or owned by an individual that also owns a FINRA regulated company. Okay. So they're owned by a FINRA regulated company. That guy's not breaking the rules. Okay. That guy's not going to roll it up and put it in bankruptcy. Okay. He's got to protect the other side of his entity. So it's not some off the shelf company that's out there trying to do crazy stuff. Okay. Find out who they're backed by. Are they backed by FCMs, introducing brokers, who the players are? Very important thing here. And Pat, you just pointed this out about the 17 contracts. Okay. When you talk about how you should trade these, you have to understand you are not excluded, you are not excused from live market trading, even though you may be on a sim account. What does that mean? Okay. Number one, when news comes out, it's gonna mess with your account. It's gonna mess with the charts, just like it does like normal. This isn't a video game that's unplugged and separated from everything else. Even though it has that feel, and mentally that's easier, like Dakota said, mentally that's easier to not have the strain of your own money trading. It's not a video game. You are still responsive to the market. Okay, so you're still responsive to the news, the daily cycles, the crazy activity in the opening of the market and that first hour, hour and a half, versus the dead zone that you hit around lunchtime versus the scramble at the end of the day. You are responsive to all of those, just like you would be if you were live trading. You also have to have a risk management system. Okay, this is absolutely imperative when you talk about building a program. All right, if you don't have a risk management system, guess what happens, guys? You're going to blow out. All right, look at the last 6 weeks in the market right now. Look at the volatility. Look at the volatility compared to the volume. Okay, there was a lot of movement without a lot of volume behind it. Okay, when you see that, you have to trade within those parameters. You are not excused from live market trading. Okay, so with that being said, what are the types of trades and trading strategies that work best for prop firms? Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this, guys. All right. What are the best types of trades and trading strategies that work that work in these systems. I keep saying consistent. You have to have a system. Okay, you can't just trade. What do I mean by a system? Okay, it's got to be a high probability system. It can't be one of these systems where you hit a home run, okay, and then you take a bunch of losers, and then you hit a home run and then you take a bunch of losers. Guys, there are hedge funds that trade that way. Okay, there are hedge funds that trade that way, and they're very successful. Okay, there are hedge funds that have a losing win rate, meaning that they're below 50%, but they have such high profits on those trades that they overcome the losers. Okay, you can't use that type of a trading system to be a prop trader. It won't work. You'll fail out. So what you need is you need a number one, a high probability system. It needs to have successful win rates. What are the types of trades that have high win rates? Okay, reversals and inverses. Okay, reversals and inverses are both super high probability trades. I'll show you the percentages in just a few minutes. Another one is gap fills. Okay, gap fills have literally taken over the market. There's been so much happening in the overnight that gap fills have become a go-to trade. They're at almost 40% of our active trades right now, which is just crazy. It used to be 5, 10, maybe 20% on any given day, and they're over 40% right now. So give me a second here. How consistent and high probability are the gap fills and the reversal trading? Guys, this is the statistics of Pat's system. Okay, straightforward, simple. This is Pat's system. This is what it's doing right now. Okay, in 2022, you could read the numbers. Those are the total reported wins from the students. It was a 75% win rate. 2023, 71%. 2024, 74%. Guys, we're having a year right now. We're at 76% win rate. Okay, this isn't Pat trading. I want to be clear. This isn't Pat calling out signals. This is you guys, the students, submitting your trades for review, and those trades being counted towards this system. So when I talk about high win rates, when I talk about something having to be high win rate to be profitable, this is what I'm talking about right here. You can see it's working. The system's hitting numbers. Okay, so it has to be consistent, has to be high probability, reversals, inverses, and gap fills. It has to have a risk management strategy. Okay, those of you that have been through Pat's Money Management 1, it's all about risk management. It's not about just trade entries, guys. What do you do after you win your first trade? What do you do after you lose your first trade? When do you walk away? Okay, there's a number of people in this presentation right now that I've heard Pat say, go home, you're done, shut it off, leave the room. He's helping you protect your money. He's helping you protect your profits. Okay, that's the system. Okay, that's the consistency. That's the things you need to be successful at prop trading. Is you need a good risk management strategy and a good money management strategy. Okay, absolutely integral to being successful at this program. All right, Pat's modified market profile strategy it uses the high volume areas. You guys are familiar with this. It's not a unique system. Market profile is not. Pat's system is unique. Okay, Pat's system is unique in that he has a very specific strategy of how he's coming up with those high volume areas. We give those high volume areas to our students. You guys, if you want them automated, we have them automated. If you want them just so you can draw them in yourself, we deliver them via email every day if you're an active student. You guys know those high volume areas are the bread and butter of what we do. Everything we do is based off of it. That's where our reversals come. That's where the inverses come. Pat, you want to walk us through a trade real quick, just so the people that aren't active students can understand what this is?
Sure. Just so you guys can see, and this is software assisted as well. First, you can see to your left of the screen where the green bars lit up, that was support at the high of a HVA that I had drawn possibly the day, maybe a week before. I don't know if we had not reached that area, the HVAs that I draw stay the same. The market then went lower, put in a swing low at about 55.01, reverted back to the top of the HVA edge, You then got, assisted by the software, red bars. That means go short. You have at least 1-to-1 reward to risk. Once the strategy is activated, all of your orders are put in, meaning in this case, a sell stop to get in, a buy stop to protect you, and a buy limit to get out. That's all in, all out. If you would have chosen to trail, you can use a 1 or a 2-bar trailing method. The software does it all for you. To be clear, you don't need the software to do all this. You can do it all manually. I teach everyone how to do it on their own first. This is another trade. So some of you may not be familiar with what an inverse is. This is an inverse. It's just the opposite of a reversal. You made it through the bottom of an HVA edge. You returned back to that level. Former support becomes resistance. The trade was taken up 1645 on that one trade in the NASDAQ. I believe that was an 8-contract trade.
Not a bad little profit.
And then leave. Get out.
Okay. And then get out. yeah, get out. So reversals and inverses are usually enough. Tiffany, you were just talking about this. You learned many different trades, step 3 and this and that. But what you said was you got back to the basics, the reversals and inverses. They are usually enough. I will say this, they're normally 80 to 90% of our trades. Currently, they're about 60%. This has a lot to do with the volatility in the market. And guys, when I'm talking about volatility, I'm not talking about beginning of the day to end of day results. I'm talking about the squiggly lines throughout the day. Okay, that volatility is causing a lot of changes in trading strategies. Ours still work, but what we're seeing is our normal strategy of 80 to 90% of the trades being reversals and inverses. We're now seeing it as gap fills taking up a huge part of the market. Pat, do you want to just talk them through a gap fill? It's normally 10 to 20%. Now we're around 40%.
Sure.
Pat, you want to talk
Essentially,
through?
in a gap fill entry, you're using the previous day's range. If you open above it, you're looking to go gap short. If you are below it, you're looking to go gap long. What does that mean? Futures is a zero-sum game, guys. You only need one more aggressive buyer versus passive seller to move the market up, and vice versa. Well, when the market opens gap up, there are a pile of people that are underwater and losing. But there's also a bunch of people who just made a monster profit because they were holding long from the previous day. The same thing is true with being short. Just reverse it. Well, what does a professional trader do when he opens gap up? He was holding long from the previous day, and he gets a Christmas present in July. He closes by using a sell order. Well, what are all those people who were short the previous day going to do? They're going to hit the sell button and double down to get back where they were so they don't lose their shirts and or their jobs. This is the time of the day that most participants are working together. It is a very high percentage trade. In this particular trade, it was a gap short after, or I should say a gap up after you were accepted inside the HVA, an $850 win. Did it fill all the way back to the gap fill? No, but you get what you get, guys. You get what you get. Could everybody else hear us? Okay, great.
Not sure, Michael. We'll circle back to it though. So we do strongly recommend trade assist strategies. Trade assist is a terminology used to talk about a software. Okay, so there's different levels of software, guys. Why, when we're trading prop firms or when we're trading for ourselves, do we recommend software? Well, yes. Okay, we sell software, so of course we're going to recommend it. But there's another reason why. Okay, so let's start with the different types of software, understanding why you want to use it and how you should trade a funded account using the software. First is understanding that an indicator is one type of software. All it's going to do is tell you when to trade. It's not going to actually take the trade for you. Okay. The second step is trade assist. Trade Assist is where it populates the trade and it allows you to take the trade once you've set it up. Okay, it will take the trade in an automated way, but you're going to configure it to take that trade. Trade Assist software is fantastic when you're prop trading. What it does is it allows you to follow the strategy and follow the rules, and it gives you a high degree of accuracy on the trade. Okay. The other thing is with our, in particular, our Trade Assist software that we use, it doesn't give you a miscalculation of your max risk, your max loss, your trailing loss. It allows you to compute it mathematically and to execute with it. This is a major win because, as we keep saying, you have these rules that you have to stay within. Okay. If you don't stay within the rules and you bounce out, you got to come back in, you go through the whole process again. Using the software allows you to stay in for longer. Okay. Now, don't misunderstand me. There's no mathematical complete certainty here. Okay. There's nothing that says if I set my thing here, it's all a percentage game. But all we're trying to do is increase our probability higher and higher and higher. Increase our win rate higher and higher and higher. Increase our profit factor higher and higher and higher. How do you do that? You use software to get into the trade faster. Okay. So now you're in with a larger opportunity for profit, not getting closer to where you would get out of the trade. Okay. So you have a larger opportunity for profit. You're getting out of the trade at the right time. Okay. You're not missing the exit. You're following the rules. You're getting out when you're supposed to get out. That, you're not forgetting to put your stop in place. It's trailing the stop with the highest degree of mathematical certainty that we've been able to find, the highest probability for winning that we've been able to find. So it's executing all of the things you need to do to maximize your profit and minimize your risk in an automated way. But you still have to understand the system. Okay. So we said there's indicators, there's Trade Assist, and there's auto traders. I want to be clear. This is not an auto trader system. Okay. This is not auto trading. You are not putting this onto your account and it trades your account and you go there at the end of the month and you're making a ton of money. Okay. You still have to go in, you still have to actively trade the Trade Assist software. Okay. But it does all the hard math for you. Okay. That's the trick. Once you understand the system and you use the Trade Assist software, your success skyrockets. Okay. That third system, so there's indicators, there's Trade Assist, there are auto traders. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I myself am experimenting with an auto trader that trades Pat's system. I can tell you it still doesn't perform as well as if I'm doing the Trade Assist myself. Okay. For some reason, the man plus machine still beats machine. Can it work in an automated way? It can. But I'm going to tell you point blank, it doesn't do as well as when I do it myself and I'm in there. Okay. There is a possibility. I don't want to guarantee everybody here. There is a possibility we'll be rolling out an auto trader for this sometime next quarter. Okay. But I'm going to tell you again, the best way to do it is to do it yourself. You will have the highest degree of success. The fourth is, and I think it was David had asked earlier, do we use a copy trader? Okay, so what a copy trader is it takes what you're doing in one account and it executes the same trade in other accounts. Why is that really important for prop trading? Okay, if I've got one account for $150,000 and I'm able to get to in 35 days a $9,000 profit, okay, well, I'm getting paid out on that $9,000 profit. What if I can do exactly the same thing and copy it into 5 other accounts? Now I'm looking at a $45,000 profit at a 90% payout. That's the power of a copy trader. Okay, and I think it was David earlier that was asking about it. So there are 4 types of appropriate software that you can use that can help you in this. Okay, there's indicators. Indicators are going to tell you when to trade. I don't use any indicators anymore. Why don't I use them? Because I use the second type, which is Trade Assist. Trade Assist allows the trade to take place where I position it. It does all the hard math for me. It populates the trade for me. It does everything that I needed to do with mathematics, with mathematical formula that I configured it with before I started trading it with. Okay, so that's important to understand. It's not just doing it on its own. I'm still doing the configuration. I'm still doing the trade. But with Trade Assist software, I'm able to execute faster. I'm get into trades faster, which means more profit. Get out of trades at the right time, which means more profit and less risk. Okay. Auto traders, there aren't there. CopyTrader allows me to take what I'm doing with that Trade Assist software and execute it on multiple accounts. I'm literally getting a multiplier effect. I'm getting 5 times the return by using the CopyTrader. Okay, that should be a pretty. It's very simple to understand, and a lot of people go, "Shoot, why didn't I think of that earlier?" That makes a ton of sense. Well, yeah, it does make a ton of sense. It is that obvious. Okay, and by the way, you don't have to use a CopyTrader on software. You can use a CopyTrader and still manually trade in your account, and it'll copy your trades into other accounts. Watch, and the other thing I think that gives me the chance with software is it allows me to watch multiple markets because I don't have to do the math in the market. So when I see the market approaching a high volume area, I can use the software to take the trade. I don't have to be watching just 1 or 2 markets and executing. I can watch 4, sometimes 5 now using the software. Give me 1 second here, guys.
Hey, Mike, I just got an email from Thorinda telling us the event will probably cut off in about 5 minutes because we
Okay.
got an extension.
Well, we're almost done. Yep, we're almost done. So smaller accounts versus larger accounts. Guys, at the end of the day, trade your larger accounts once you've gotten the system. They are larger buy-ins, but trade the larger accounts if you can do it. Why would you trade 50 grand when you could trade 150 and it's not your money? To me, that's a no-brainer. Prop farming, that's the term, by the way, for doing the copy trading that I was talking about, guys. Prop farming is using a copier to trade and basically create crops of accounts. Okay, so prop farming is absolutely a win once you've developed a system and you're using your system correctly. I'm becoming more and more involved in this. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm developing a methodology for this that I'll share with the group. If you guys are in the Prop Trade Accelerator program, you're going to see it there. I'll share it there with you. You'll learn a little bit more about it. Let me talk to you guys real quick about the programs, and so we can wrap this up. We are developing new software and new programs all the time. Our biggest thing is we want you guys to have the best chance of success. So for those of you guys that are new to this, that have never been with us before, how does our system work? Okay, we start you off with trade signals. Okay, this is new for some of you longtime students. Trade signals we never had before. We started this about 1.5 years ago. The trade signal is where we tell you what to take. Okay, so we start a lot of people off in a room, we call it the Market Mavericks room. We give you trade signals. Hey guys, I'm going long in gold right now. You've got 5 seconds to enter the trade. Okay. Trade signals is everyone starts so they understand how to take trades. They get an understanding. It's follow the leader. You're following a longtime professional. You can start trading for profit right away. Then you learn the system. This is the classroom. This is the mentorship programs. This is the trade reviews. This is all those extra things that we do. I'm a big believer, and I want to focus on this for 1 second, in our trade review system. What is our trade review system? We require our students to submit even the sim trades that they take so that Pat can go over them live in the room and explain to you what you did well and what you didn't do well. Sometimes, guys, it's as simple as great trade, good job, and he moves along. Sometimes it's, hey, your entry was late. I'm not sure what you were looking at. I'm not sure why you took it there. Why didn't you get out earlier? And you're going to learn to trade faster. It does 2 things, guys. Number 1, you're taking a trade and getting it reviewed, so you're getting feedback right away on your trade. The second thing it does is you're submitting your trades to Pat, so you're much more careful about following the rules and the systems. It's a huge psychological benefit. Okay. We have mentorships. We have software. By the way, guys, existing students, if you haven't signed up, the Advanced Context Trading Mentorship, if you got Master Keys, you're already in it. If you don't, sign up, guys. This is awesome. It's stuff we've never covered before. It's for advanced students. It's a lot of really cool topics. We also have the Accelerated Mentorship Program. That's Pat's program. All of the Pat's system in 6 weeks with an extra 2 weeks tacked on to do Q&As. We offer very, very good small group mentorships. I would say best in the industry if you've taken them. We talked about our software. We do trader checkups, guys. We follow up with you to see how you're doing, what you're doing well, what you're struggling with, and to get you back in the loop. Guys, this is a program. This is not a class. It's a system. It's not a trade. This is a lifetime skill that we're working to teach you. If you are here and you've got questions, reach out to Joe at targettrading.co. He's happy to give you some feedback and some information. I love what we do, guys. I have a firm belief that our system, this is a big breakdown of our system is the best in the business. We are very, very, very successful at what we do. Okay, we've got thousands of successful students, hundreds of prop traders right now being successful, making money, career-changing stuff here, guys, life-changing things. As a thank you for today, we're giving the Prop Trade Accelerator program. We're dropping $1,000 off that price tag. You got to sign up today. I'm keeping that price for today and today only for a reason, guys. This is a very, very, very valuable program. If you are curious about the program, you want to learn a little bit more about it, you can go to our website, targettrading.co, and click Get Funded. But it's $1,000 today, $1,000 off today, or you can reach out to Joe at targettrading.co. Our master key program is literally everything that we do. Look, if you've decided you want to be a trader, if you decided this is the time in your life where you want to make that change, our master key program is where it's at. Okay, it's literally everything that we do. It's 1 year of it. You will walk out of this. I can tell you right now, if you show up and you do it, you will be a master trader at the end of that year. We do offer 100% financing on all of our programs. Please ask about it. Down payments and monthlies are for the coming month. So that means you can cancel anytime. We don't lock you into these things. We don't chase you down if you can't do this anymore. We understand. So guys, I'm moving quick because we're running out of time. Targettrading.co, get-funded. Okay, that's our funded trader information. Cannot stress this enough, guys. This is a life-changing experience. Please jump in. Please let us help you take this to the next level, become a funded trader, and make some money. Thank you guys for everything you do. I appreciate you being here today. Dakota, Tiffany, Stephen, we're going to get to you next time because your story is amazing. We got to have you tell it. Randall, thank you as always, sir. Pat, thank you. To all, targettrading.co /get funded. Thank you. Have a great one.